All right, so we are on lesson 3 of unit 4, so 4-3. We are going to be multiplying using place value sections. So write down anything you remember from 4th grade about place value sections, because I know you did learn how to multiply in 4th grade using place value sections. Then come back to me. Okay, so which property does the following represent? I have 4 times 6 in parenthesis 3 plus 6, and I can break that apart into a 4 times 3 plus a 4 times 6, and I forgot to put my parentheses here, so this should have parentheses here and then parentheses there. Oh, that doesn't look like parentheses, does it? Let me make that a little bit better. Okay, so what property is that? Do you remember what property is? If you remember it, write it down in your math notebook, then come back to me. Okay, so that was the distributive property. What does the distributive property do? It tells me that I can do the product of a number and a sum, and it's equal to the sum of the products of the numbers. Basically, it tells me I can break them apart, right? I can do the 4 times the 3, the 4 times the 3, because this is 4 times 3, and then I can break it apart to the 4 times the 6 like we did before, the 4 times the 6. That means I can distribute it to make it easier to do. So instead of doing 3 plus 6 is 18 and then multiply it by 4, I can simply do 4 times 3, which is 12, and then 4 times 6, which is 24, and that will be easier, and then I just add those two together. So it'll make it easier to solve by distributing them. And that's what we're doing today. We are using the distributive property, and that's what place value sections are. They're using the distributive property to make it easier to multiply, okay? Okay, so let's look at this one. How would I solve the following using the distributive property of 39 times 54? We're going to show a model. So how can I break that apart to multiply? Think about it, then come back to me. Okay, so if you said I can break them apart, you are right? Because what can I break the 30 apart into? The 39. I can break that apart into a 30 plus a 9, right? A 30 plus a 9. That's going to give me 39 times, what can I break apart the 54? If you said a 50 and a 4, you are right. 50 plus 4 is going to give me that. And now I can just multiply it and it'd be so much easier, right? So let me show you how to use that model with the place value sections in the next slide. Okay, so this is what I did. Remember, we broke apart the 54 into a 50 and a 4, and I broke apart the 39 into a 30 into a 9. And now remember the place value sections. Maybe this is coming more familiar, where we draw the box, break it apart into 4 sections, and then I do 30 times 50, and I know 3 times 5 is 15, and then I have my 2 zeros, so I add my 2 zeros, and then I do 30 times 4, 3 times 4 is 12, and then I add my 0, and then I do 9 times 50, 9 times 5 is 45, add my 0 back, and then 9 times 40 is 36, and then I just add it all together. So I should have, then I just simply add them up. So 1,500, 1,500, 120, 120, 450, 450, 36, add it up. 0 plus 6 is 6. 0 plus 2 plus 5 plus 3 is 10. Carry my 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. Plus my 4 makes 10. Plus 1 makes 11. Carry my 1. There's the ones that I carried. 1 plus 1 is 2. So 2,106. And this was the word problem. A theater has 39 rows. Each row has 59 seats. How many seats are in the theater? So I forgot to read the problem, didn't I? Sorry about that. But 2,106 seats. Okay, so let's try another one. Okay, so if you remember from 4th grade how to do this, go ahead and do this on your own. If you don't remember, stay with me and I will do it with you, okay? So we have used the place value sections to solve 55 and 32. So if you remember how to use the place value section, stop the video, do it by yourself. If you don't remember, stay with me and I'm going to show you right now. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my box, my place value section box, but let me move it over here because I want to have room to do my math also. So let me do it over here. So I'm going to do my place value section box over here. I'm trying to make it, and I'm going to split it into 4 parts. That's the first thing you do. Okay, split up into 4 parts. You take your 55, and I'm going to break my 55 apart into a 50 and a 5. So 50 plus a 5 is going to give me my 55. And then I got to break apart my 32, right? So a 30 plus a 2. And then I do 50 times 30. So I do 50 times 30. And I know 5 times 3 is 15. And then I add my 2 zeros because I already learned how to multiply by multiples of 10. And then I do 30 times 5. And I know 3 times 5 is 15. And then my 0. Okay, so I get that far. Now I'm going to do 50 times 2. 50 times 2. And I know 5 times 2 is 10, but I got to add another 0 from the 50. Makes it 100. And then I simply do 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. And then all I got to do is add them together. So I have 1,500 plus 150. You got to remember to line up your place values. Very, very important that you line up your place values. Plus 100 plus 10. Line them up. That's a common mistake kids make. They don't line up their place values. Okay, 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1 is 6. 5 plus 1 plus 1 is 7. And then 1 plus nothing is 1,760. Okay, that's how you do those. All right, try another one. So if you did the other one with me, do this one by yourself. Use the place value sections to solve 43 times 67 and show your model and all of your work. Okay. All right, so here's our solution. I broke apart the 43 into a 40 plus a 3. Hopefully you did the same thing. And then I broke apart the 67 into a 60 and a 7. And it doesn't matter if you put the 60 and the 7 up here and the 40 and the 3 here. You should end up with the same answer regardless of where you put them. Okay, so don't worry if you put the 60 and the 7 up here and the 40 and the 3 down here, you'll still come up with the same answer. Okay, so my 40 broke apart to 40 and a 3. And then my 60 broke apart into a 60 and a 7. So I did 60 times 40. 6 times 4 is 24. And I had 1, 2 zeros. Got to bring my 2 zeros in. And then I did 60 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18 plus a 0 from my 60. Makes it 180. 7 times 40 or 40 times 70. 40 times 7 or 7 times 40. Either way, it doesn't matter if you wrote these the other way. You still should get the same answer. Okay. Because 4 times 7 is 28, plus my 0 from my 40 makes it 280, and then 7 times 3 is 21. Because remember, the commutative property of multiplication tells me I can flip these, right? Because even if I flip this into a 40 times 60, right, I'm still going to get the same thing. I'm still going to get the, my mouse, I'm trying to write with my mouse. I'm still going to get 2,400, right? It's still the same thing. It doesn't matter if you flip-flop them. All right, so I regress. So then 2,400, 2,400, 180, 180, 280, 280, 21. So double check 2,400. Yep, 180, 180, 280, 280, 21. Common mistake. And make sure you line up your not your decimal. Sorry, I'm stuck with decimals. Make sure you're lining up your place values. Okay, so the ones and the ones, the tens and the tens, hundreds and the hundreds, thousands and the thousands. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1, 1. 0 plus 8 plus 8, 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 2 is 18, carry my 1, and the 1 is over here. It's the way this thing, let me erase it and make it a little bit more clear. It's hard to write with my mouse. There we go. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8, and 2 plus nothing is 2, 2,881. Okay, so that's it for today. So write what you learned today. Proof of learning by solving a double digit by double digit multiplication using the distributive property, right, to distribute them out using the place value sections. And if you have a reflection or a question, please ask me in class. All right. Have a great day.